Peace and power. I am back. Okay. We are on chapter 9 of 41 Shades of Men. Let me put it in here because I be forgetting 41. I wish I can copy and paste. Baby, this book is good, and then I got the podcast playing in the background, and she just makes good points. I thought this book was by somebody who has been scorned, who hate me, and blah blah blah. That is not what this book is about. It's not. This book is unpopular because she is giving you some points on having your best interests at the top of the list when you're out here dating. And I needed to hear this book, baby. This book was shared with me in my women's circle that I'm a part of. And I'm thankful for them because I am newly divorced. I need to know. When I got married the first time, I didn't know. I didn't know none of this. The emotionally immature man is chapter 9. That's the chapter we are on. Let me see. Okay. So we're going to get right into it. Emotionally immaturity occurs when we express our true feelings without need for reciprocation, validation, appreciation, or trepidation. Our feelings become companions and not enemies. And that is a quote from L.A. Askew. If you have been on social media long enough, you will have seen several instances of males who have opted to end their lives publicly for the world to see. Not only ending their own lives, but many times ending the lives of those near them. Behind these acts of suicide and or murder is seething pain from let down expectations of emotional void fulfillment from a romantic partner. Males are emotionally underdeveloped relative to their female counterparts. It is partly due to the notion that males are supposed to be all masculine. This idea causes them to further suppress any form of emotion and to seek women to be their emotional crutches and outlets. The suppression is something that is already naturally wired into them. However, the philosophical program of machismo exacerbates the effects exaggerates the effects. This causes males to believe their only access to emotion is through women. Let's take the 2022 case of Francois Littlejohn, who murdered his three children, ages 6, 4, and 3 years old. He murdered them because he was so emotionally deficient that he placed all of his energy in a transactional relationship with the mother of the three children. He heavily depended on her to return emotional energy. Unfortunately, she did not. She left him instead. He felt her leaving him was refusing to communicate with him, left him no other way or choice to get her attention. Instead of reaching out for professional help, he chose to end the lives of her children and his. How about the case of J.D. Turner? On December 15, 2022, in Houston, Texas, her ex-boyfriend lured her uncle out of the house only to kill her and himself in her bedroom. She broke up with him 2 weeks prior and had only dated him for a year. Um, Kelvin Brown II, an ex-military colleague of mine, whom I knew personally, murdered his ex-girlfriend in 2014 when she broke up with him. He was emotionally dependent on her. We can talk about instances like these over and over again. These guys are not getting in relationships with women because they love them. They are getting in relationships with them because they are emotionally dependent on them. One of the key ways to identify emotional dependency is clinginess. When it appears that you are the center of their focus, this is a sign that should not be overlooked. Another sign of emotional dependency is making you aware of all that he has sacrificed and done for you while simultaneously complaining of your lack of appreciation and acknowledgement. When a person, especially a male, is willing to gut himself out with the intention of receiving certain emotional behaviors from you, this is also a sign that you should not overlook. When they initially approach you, they can present themselves in a variety of ways, so don't place too much value on the initial approach, but instead pay very close attention to the subconscious behavioral problems. What to look for? How much of a victim is he being? Does he always speak about those who have done wrong to him? This is typically bait used to draw women in for emotional rescue mission. Does he try to rush into a relationship or long-term commitment once you've done something he perceives as nice and caring? This is a sign of neediness and or desperation. Is he insecure and heavily depends on you speaking life into him? This is a sign of emotional immaturity and fragility. Does he believe the role of a woman is obligation to serve his needs? All of these are signs of emotional dependency. My advice, do not volunteer to be his therapist or savior. Males must do the work on their own. If the house next to your house explodes and your house is within close proximity, your house will be damaged in the process. You do not want to be a casualty to someone else's implosions. Maintain your distance. And unfortunately, this is true. As a female, we look to men, and when they are in this way, sometimes at first it's cute, but over time, you don't want to have to be just pouring into somebody, like I said, and you're not being poured back into. That's crazy. I did it for years, and I ended up empty hand, empty house. Now I'm here, a single mom, mentally struggling in the season of Capricorn. Okay, every time I think about it, like I did not start out being a mom and a wife to end up divorced, and so sometimes it overwhelms me because it's hard. But when I think about it, what was harder is having somebody else in the house that's not emotionally pouring back into me. So ladies, choose your heart. I'm gonna get out of here. We're gonna be on chapter 10 next, the sex deprived man. Peace and power, and I'm out of here.